Hello. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about my encounter with a stranger. So, for context, I am a book nerd. I love to read. That's literally all I do with my time. That's where all my money goes. And there's this app called Goodreads, and it's like Twitter, but for like people who read. Because there's 3 different categories for like where you can like categorize books. There's books that you're currently reading, books that you want to read, and books that you've read already. And like you can make friends on the app, and you can like do little posts or whatever, and like updates on your book and like where you're currently at and thoughts that you're having. It's basically my Twitter, and that's important to the story. Back to the story. So I'm on the train, Q train, 8 p.m. at night, vibing. I'm reading Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. That's also important. And I look up, and some girl across from me is reading A Court of Thorn and Roses. Now, Sarah J. Maas is the author, and Court of Thorn and Roses is her most famous series, but Crescent City is her second most famous series. I haven't read Court of Thorn and Roses yet, but I can recognize it anywhere because, duh, I'm a Sarah J. Maas fan. I know what the covers look like. So I look up and I'm like, oh my God. So I run to my phone, I get out my Goodreads app, and like I make a post. I'm like, I'm gonna put the post here so you guys can like see it. But I'm like, there's this girl over there who's reading A Court of Thorn and Roses. Like, I'm gonna go over there and talk to her or something. I don't remember what I said, but this was in December. And so I make the post and I go back to like reading, but I'm not really reading. I'm like, is she looking? And usually I read like this, but I was like, girl, you gonna see this book. You gonna see this book I'm reading. So I'm like I'm reading. And like this keeps happening. I can tell she's looking at me too, but I'm like, who gonna make the first move? Who gonna talk to? Who's gonna go talk to who? You know? And so we're like 5 stops away from my stop. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna go over there and talk to her. Ow. So I like go over and I sit next to her and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just saw that you were reading this book. And she's like, oh my God, no, don't apologize. I saw that you were reading that book and I wanted to talk to you and da-da-da-da. So we just start like freaking out over Sarah J. Maas and like asking questions about the book. And then I'm like, I ask her, because I ask every book nerd, like, do you have a Goodreads account? And she says yes. And so like, I'm like, okay. So I made this post when I saw that you were reading the book and I was like, I'm gonna go over there and talk to her or whatever. And she's like, oh my God, stay psych right now because she has Snapchat. I don't have any social media like at all. That's another story, but just for like mental health purposes. But anyways, so she's like, oh, I filmed you. And I was like, she's reading a Sarah J. Maas book and I don't know if I should go talk to her. And she showed me the video and I was literally like, bruv, you're joking. So like we both had the same train of thought and I just thought that was so hilarious. And like now we're friends on Goodreads. We like each other's posts, like we comment and shit like that. Like she's almost done with Court of Thorn and Roses and like I'm waiting for Sarah to release the next book. So I'm reading Pride and Prejudice right now. That is a tough read. 279 pages and it's taking me over a week. That aside, so we're friends on Goodreads now. I made a friend because I talked to somebody on a train. I just thought that was so hilarious that we both were like friend because she's reading Sarah J. Maas. But yeah, I just thought that was like so fun. And now I have a friend. Okay, that's my story.